I never believed that love could last beyond death, until I heard Jack's story. Jack was my grandfather's only son. After my father passed away, my mother and I moved into his old house. It was ancient, cracked walls, dust-covered windows, but the strangest thing was the northern window, always shadowed as if someone was standing there. One night, as I was reading my grandfather's old diary, I found a dried rose tucked between the pages. Next to it, a note was written, "Catherine, I promised. I will wait for you until you return." Catherine. Who was Catherine? Just then, the curtain near the northern window shifted slightly. I looked up and saw a shadow, tall, motionless, as if waiting for someone. I hesitantly walked to the door and opened it. A cold breeze sent shivers down my spine. But then I saw him, a young soldier standing near the window. He wore a faded grey uniform, his eyes filled with sorrow. But the most haunting part, he held a fresh bouquet of red roses. I couldn't breathe. He slowly turned to me and smiled faintly. "You came back, Catherine." My body froze. I wasn't Catherine. I had never even heard that name before. But in his voice, there was nothing but longing. Then a gentle wind passed through, and his figure slowly faded. But at the spot where he had stood, a fresh bouquet of red roses remained. The next morning I told my grandfather everything. He let out a deep sigh and said, "Jack loved Catherine, but she died during the war. He waited for her his whole life, never realizing that even after death, his soul was still waiting." I looked out the window, and for the first time it felt like someone had finally found peace. Because sometimes love never dies, not even after death.